because you said they are promoting human rights in their own way. So can you explain what their own way means?
Well, their own way, when you look at traditional values and cultural practices, usually they are able to communicate through music, through dance. They do all sorts of things, the cultural way. In other words, they don't really stick to the book when it comes to human rights. But when you compare what we term as human rights and their way of living, you find that there are similarities. There's something that is common to an extent whereby talk of the right to health, talk of the right to education, talk of rights, you'll find it both, in the conventional way as well as, the cultural way of life.
Are there, and in your work as a human rights promoter, do you find obstacles situations where traditional values are a hindrance, an obstacle for promoting human rights?
Yes, usually when we look at, the cultural practices, there is something positive as well as, negative connotations. For instance, here in Zambia, especially on what we call the floodplains, southern, the southwestern part of Monze Diocese, Namwala area to be precise, they are Tonga-speaking people, and usually these are farmers. And for anyone to have, some kind of, identity, they have got to have some kind of, animals, a head of cattle, for instance, and various, livestock. And what they do, I'm not saying that that's the reason why they do it, but all I'll say is at times they marry off their young children, and in the process, they stop them from going to school. When someone or any family, marries their young child, then they are violating, that child's right to education. So that's just one practical, example that I would give. But there may be a few others. But to a great extent, we have cultural values that actually do promote, they promote human rights.
Can you also give us examples for this?
One example that I would give in terms of promoting, human rights, I'll give an example of, say, an expectant mother. At times, due to some kind of misfortune, they may, the unexpected mother may end up, having a miscarriage. And usually when a woman goes through that situation, she needs, help, and she needs time to rest. So traditionally or culturally, she's asked not to prepare meals. She's asked to stay away, not to really mix or reach out to so many people. The reason why they do that is because, for lack of a better word, I would say, during that period, a woman is seen to be unclean, and as such, you cannot, prepare food for other, family members. That is done to protect other, family members from getting some kind of, ailment from this woman in case she was careless, in handling, foodstuffs and things like that. So there is a promotion to, to health through that culture, practice.
A lot of participants of this exposure, they said they felt that in their families this is an issue that the government is quite absent. So what does this situation mean for a human rights promoter as you are?
What it simply means, I'll start by looking at the local situation, the local arrangement. Usually we have what we call, regional politics. There is tribalism at play. Those in power, they'll be saying, since this province or this particular tribe didn't vote for us, we won't take as much developmental projects as we would have loved to. And they are denying, that, region of their rightful, claim to public resources. So usually it's all due to the weak, legal framework that we have. It leaves politicians to run businesses or to run, national affairs to suit their selfish, needs. So as a human rights, promoter, all we have to do is to, inform government or remind government of the fact that, public resources are supposed to be, distributed, equitably.
And given this situation, like the government is absent, what does the local and the traditional structures mean, like the elder structure, the Chividome, and everything like this?
These other, local lower organs talk of the traditional leaders, for example. In a way, they are supposed to have, functional village developmental committees. At times they are referred to as village, productivity committees. These productivity committees have a direct link to government through the council and, other channels. So all they have to do is to ensure they have, functional productivity committees, and through that they should be able to reach out to, the local authority, be it, local government, structures, or indeed any other, government department. It is possible for them to make their voice, louder, and the voice should be heard.
Thank you.
Yeah.